It suggests that ugly creations might stem from ugly.
But you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe all this ugliness about how games are so woke and they too diverse and DEI, maybe that's making people look ugly. But let's go.
Thoughts or intentions. And we witness many games being made by ugly people. Now I'm not talking about their appearance, which is up to you to decide. But
see, this is what I'm talking about. This is all it is. This is, oh, people that I don't like are making video games, so they're ugly now. That's all this is. I saw this video and it was just, I watched the first few minutes of it, and to me, like, I wanted to bring it on stream so I can actually talk about it. And I don't know, man. Like, so many people, like, I don't know if it's just like cap. I don't know if it's just people that's never played games past, 2009. I don't know. Some of this is just weird to me. I just don't get it. To me, a lot of these people are just, I want to say, I don't know. Are they doing it for the clicks? They got to be doing it for the clicks. I don't want to dismiss somebody's opinion, but it's just like, some of this stuff is just so hitting the algorithm. I wouldn't say popular, because if you talk to people who actually play video games, it's like, no, that's just stupid. Like, some of these people just complain more and more about the thought of a video game versus actually playing it. And it's just weird to me. I saw this video about this cat saying, why are games so ugly now? And here, watch it with me. We're going to actually watch this and we're going to see what he feels is ugly about video games. Shall we?
Why are games so ugly? Just look at this.
Now, I don't see what's ugly about this. This is just artistic. This is kind of like it actually reminds me of a comic book art style from, like, not too long ago, like the early 90s or late 80s. This is a comic book art style. What's ugly about this game? I don't get it. Can somebody tell me?
Why are game developers making games that look like this unironically? Graphics have technically improved a lot in the last 20 years, but there's just so many examples of games that look worse than something on 3.
Wait, this is more realistic than what we've seen in a lot of games. And it's just the art style. You're talking about art style. There's nothing ugly about this art style. Tell me what's ugly about the art style. Please help me out.
Console generations ago. Now, obviously not all new big games, but the amount of big budget games that look disgusting, bland, boring in the past 5 years has just gone up exponentially.
That's almost photorealistic. What are you talking about? What's ugly about this?
Now, we all know graphics are just about numbers. They're measurable, they're about how detailed a texture is, how realistic the lighting looks, or how many polygons make up a character model. Graphics are the material surface of a game, and while they can be impressive, they just lack something essential. They lack soul. This is something people fail to see in modern gaming. What we view as progress is the measurement of how many pixels we can get onto the screen at once. Now, there's a thinker I enjoy, Manly P. Hall. He's known for his insights into spiritual and artistic realms, and I think he would argue that graphics alone are like a beautifully painted but empty canvas. Without deeper purpose or harmony, they remain hollow. They're pleasing to the eye.
What are you talking about? You haven't explained anything about the themes. You haven't explained anything about the art style. You just said graphics. What about the graphics? What makes them soulless? What makes them not appealing to you? Explain, please. Explain it. But I guess he's going to get into it. I've only given him a minute of the 10-minute video. This has been literally 10% of this video is just like, don't you hate graphics now? Don't you hate games now? It's stupid.
but they fail to move the soul. Now what's important in gaming and art in general is aesthetics. Aesthetics are about the soul. They are beyond mere visuals to create something that resonates on a deeper emotional level. A game's aesthetics come from its art direction, its use of colour, its symbolism, the camera angles, and just how it makes you feel as the player.
Again, you're saying aesthetics. Cool. What about the aesthetics? It's like there's a difference between art style and art aesthetics. There's a big difference. They work in tandem with each other, but there's a difference. What about it is driving you to say games are ugly now? I'm seeing some, you even showed an example of a photorealistic game. What is so wrong with it? Please explain it to me.
Many big AAA games fail to capture any sort of aesthetic standard that is in any way captivating or timeless. And some games that are released today, while technically impressive, they do not hold up against games that focus on aesthetics.
So this is a remake that's been done for right now, and people liked it because it was a game that they played when they was kids. So is this one right here. And I always hated Resident Evil because of what it did to Parasite Eve 2. What is the problem? This looks like a WoW game. Or no, this is a Souls game. And this is a beige brown shooter. I thought y'all hated those. And like, for real. Like, what are you talking about, dog?
Now look at some of the examples here. These are games that are up to 20 years old. Now look at these. They're less than 5. And they just don't really look that appealing. And they're
Wait, what? Wait, what? But I can also show games that I enjoyed that was in the last 5 years. This is just an opinion, dog. This is like your opinion, man. What are you talking about? All right, let's go.
going to age far faster than the games that focus on high artistic design standards. What gives older games the edge is that due to their technical limitations at the time from when they were made, developers would need to be creative in how they would show off the game. While modern games, because it feels almost limitless with the technical standards we have, the developers are just desperate to show everything off at once. I think this is why in the Silent Hill 2 remake it fell short in my eyes. But it's not surprisingly so. I don't even think it's a bad game. It just doesn't capture what made the original so captivating. The original should.
You know, the only reason why they cut out most of the fog is because their render was horrible, dog. They say it when they try to re-releasing the other day, the like what 5 to 6 years ago, and they took it out. They took out the fog. Yeah, but the fact is, what's do you know the theme of Silent Hill? What do you know with the actual issue with the motivation behind the Silent Hill 2? Do you? You just think old game must be the good. Let's continue.
Just objectively more aesthetically interesting, even though it was made over 20 years ago. Now in the remake, the new graphical fidelity and the use of the camera make the game just not scary. Whereas if you look at this, it just evokes the psychological horror in a more...
No, it doesn't. It looks like he's walking through a foggy cloud. Okay, maybe I'm speaking heresy, but the Silent Hill games and the Resident Evil games, they didn't, damn. But somebody who played Resident Evil 2, it just didn't seem scary. It just seems more like it was an action adventure game. I don't get it. Like, okay, maybe I had too much influence when I was a kid. I was, watching Nightmare on Elm Street way before I should have been watching Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know.
Profound way. Now I didn't even play Silent Hill 2, the original, until last year, so I don't believe this is coming from a nostalgic point of view. Even when you look at enemies in Silent Hill 2, they're hard to make out. You're not even sure what you're looking at. The monster is purposely obfuscated, and we need to use your imagination to fill in the blanks. Look.
No, it was just bad graphics. Like, let's be honest, it was just bad graphics. You couldn't really tell what it was because it wasn't that defined. Okay. Well, you had to use your imagination. Yeah, no, I was trying to use my imagination to solve the problems and get through the gameplay. It wasn't some holy grail. Oh my God. It was just I was shooken. I was shooketh because I can imagine horror. Like, yeah, I can imagine a lot of horrible stuff. I don't know. Probably watching too many cursed animes too when I was young. Like some of this stuff was just like, oh yeah, Tuesday.
Look, even here, it's dark, you can't really see what you're looking at, it's behind a chain link fence. And that's what taps into what true horror is. And part of the game, being on a PS2 before HD really existed, and the camera being pulled back slightly further. And this design didn't set the game back because of technical limitations.
So here's the thing, and I won't say this. These people that I need to look at retro style games. They're like, no, retro style games is a reason why when developers got better tools, they started to use them because they just was made better. Not saying that not saying that there aren't some good retro style games, because there's still a few games that I enjoy that are like from the 90s. But I'm going to tell you this. When it goes to the quality of life stuff that we have now and didn't have in retro games, dude, it's a difference. It is a difference. I'm tired of this whole, oh, it was great back in the day. No, it wasn't. The people that you game with were great. The experience that you had were great. But the games weren't all that good. I commonly go back to this. I thought that, the best times I had was playing Kingdom Hearts. No, I went back and played Kingdom Hearts a few years ago, and that kind of sucked compared to Kingdom Hearts 2. The quality of life stuff that you get in later games were better for a reason. But let's continue.
It was used in a way which was executed perfectly, and the monsters were creepy throughout the entire game. Now look at the remake. The monster's right there. You see every detail. And after the first encounter, the magic's just lost. You see everything. Now let's move on to the game designers themselves. Now this...
But that happened with the old games as well. That's what happened with the old games as well. Once you actually got to it, I'm scared. I know part of it too is the YouTubeification of the jump scare and everything every time has to be scary. No, after a while you was like, all right, I got this. I mentioned Parasite Eve 2. There were some scenes in there where just like there was that one scene where the chick turned into NMC, something like that, the artificial mitochondrial culture. And it was disturbing the first time, but afterwards it was just like, time for the gameplay loop. This is just like, and this is a shell for what he really wants to talk about. This is just that. It's like, this is a shell for what he really wants to talk about, because he doesn't really want to talk about art direction or aesthetics. He wants to talk about something else. But let's let him cook for right now.
This is a sweeping generalization, but it captures the essence of many modern games being made today. Ugly games.
This is what he wanted to get to. What's up, Vegeta? Yeah, I saw your artistic pie. Ugh, yuck. Go back on the stream and you'll get my real thoughts on it. But let's go. So he wants to get to ugly games are made by ugly people. But yeah, no, I don't care if you just... I have a better pie that I can eat. Poo-tang pie. All right, so let's get to this. Let's get back to this.
Games are made by ugly people. I'm just going to let that sit for a second. Now, Roald Dahl in his novel The Twit said, if a person has ugly thoughts, it begins to show on the face, but if you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams, and they will always look lovely.
That's got to be the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. That's not how that works. No, there are people who are very attractive that have very ugly personalities. And I know he's probably not being literal, But he's trying to use this as something that's literal for video games. I'm sorry. I apologize that you're so stupid that you don't get that. No, that's not what's going on with video games. You're just mad. You're just mad. Or maybe you're doing this for clicks. I don't know. That other people are making games. That's it.
This quote captures the belief that inner goodness and positivity naturally manifest outwardly, while negativity can even taint even a beautiful exterior. It suggests that ugly creations might stem from ugly.
But you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe all this ugliness about how games are so woke and they too diverse and DEI, maybe that's making people look ugly. But let's go.
Thoughts or intentions. And we witness many games being made by ugly people. Now, I'm not talking about their appearance, which is up to you to decide. But
see, this is what I'm talking about. This is all it is. This is, oh, people that I don't like are making video games, so they're ugly now. That's all this is. And I don't know if it's just a grift with some of these people, like we saw with Andy Pants, or it's just that, oh my God, my feelings are hurt. They're not making games all for me. Oh. And these are the same people that's complaining about wokeness in video games that be having the furry porn video games in their Steam history. For real. They're the same people that, oh, wokeness, DEI, but I need Porn Tales number 35 in their video games. Let's go.
But their motivations, their mission, their message, they wish to reflect in their so-called art they are producing. It's just hideous.
Dude, art has always been hideous and raw and guttural and visceral. All those portraits that you see that just are classics of just the sower, or a lot of these, pieces of art that look just super like realistic, super visceral, super animalistic, that are shown as classics now. Shakespeare was trash. Art was trash theater. Mozart was trash music. But you're trying to conform art to a way that's just pleasing and aesthetically pleasing to you. That's not how art works, dog. That's not how art works at all.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
You don't need to watch a video like this to tell you something's ugly and off-putting. You simply look at it, and before you blink again, you know it's repulsive on an instinctual, primal level. If people
show us examples and point out where it's ugly. Come on, you can do it. You got about 5 minutes left in this video. Come on, you can do it. Well, 6 minutes. Let's go. Show us.
Surround themselves by ugly art, ugly buildings, body positivity, communism. Are you surprised they express ugly creations?
You gotta take the shot at the fat women, huh? Gotta take the shot at the fat women. And communism. My friend, capitalism is bringing these games. The reason why people are making it, because these games are selling. This is what I don't get. Like, these games are selling because capitalism. People are buying them. They're spending their money. It's the same reason why I hate microtransactions. I'm not going to spend my money on most microtransactions. But it's people are spending their money, and you know what? Companies are saying, well, people are spending their money. Let's do it. But you fine with that level of capital? You fine with that level of capitalism, aren't you? What you still mad at you mad at socialism? Come on.
Through their video games that they make. A good example to pull from this is what Hall argued in regards to architecture. He argued it had a profound effect on human psychology and spiritual well-being. He believed that harmonious and...
Okay, so this is like, all of this is just crazy. We know that a lot of this is garbage. A lot of this is garbage. Some of the architecture that we actually see is just like inconsequential of well, this culture pushed this. Here, let's look at this. You belong to a glorious civilization. And he's talking about cathedrals. It's your duty to preserve your heritage. Like, no, dog. A lot of this was new. When it was built, it was new. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. They are some of the most ahistoric people that just like, I don't get it. And some of the structures that you see, it's not that they're just doing it for architectural purposes. A lot of the cathedrals were built that way with the buttresses and flying buttresses for stability of the building. It wasn't just I needed to determine this way of the way it was building. No, that's not how that works, dog. I need you to go back and study history. Other than just the source is I made it the fuck up. Come on. You have your answer and you're going to try to retrofit the reason of why it's that way. Like, for real, that's all this is. But let's go.
Beautiful architecture uplifts the human spirit, while disordered, ugly and chaotic architecture can distort and degrade the quality of human...
Wait, what? Come on, man. Oh, this postmodernism is a bad thing. For the record, this one right here, this is, oh my god. Like, get yo postmodernism bad worship of so many of these idiot people. Get their peen out of your mouth. I swear to God, it's just weird. It's weird. You have no idea of what architecture is. You have no idea of why some of the buildings are actually built this way, because yeah, some people want to actually design stuff, and just because it doesn't fit your taste, oh, it's bad. Mind you, most of these people that complain about gaming, most of these people that complain about architecture, most of these people that live in this idea that the past was best would make nowhere in those past societies. There will be nothing in those past societies. Nothing but a footnote of the failed son that lived his life drinking and probably just a loser somewhere out in the forest. But they want to, point to a past where, oh, this was glorious, that was glorious. You'll be the same loser then that you are now. But let's continue.
Thought and interaction. The same can be applied to video games. If you play ugly video games all the time, you're going to accept this as normal, and you just won't know what real beauty is anymore. Now, Jenny Willis...
Give us an example of what's bad and what's good. Please do that. I don't get... all right, let's go.
Alexander Todorov, they conducted a study in 2006 that looked at how quickly people could access traits like attractiveness, trustworthiness, and competence based on facial appearance alone. Participants were shown faces for extremely brief durations, less than a second, and after each exposure, participants rated the faces for various traits, including...
All right, I'm not gonna do this whole... I want to seizure-inducing stuff. I hope he's finished with this. But beauty is determined by cultural standards at the time, right? You understand that a lot of the cultural standards that we have for beauty changes over time. That's a thing that happens. Do you not get that what we consider beautiful 50 years ago is different from now and different from 50 years before that? You understand that, right? Let's go.
Attractiveness. What they found was people were able to make consistent judgments about attractiveness in less than a second, and this suggests that our brains are wired to process attractiveness almost instantaneously. likely for evolutionary reasons tied to mate selection or social interaction. And to me, this shows that humans know what beauty is on an instinctual level. We don't need to be told what beauty is. We know.
No, it's determined literally by the society that you're living in. What part of that don't you get? Like, I don't. Oh my God. Is this where a lot of these people actually just like, do their brains turn off? Do their brains go back and like, they complain about art was best or video games were best or art was best at this time? Do they go back and look at that art? Do they go back and look at those video games? Do they go back and actually look at the history of what they're talking about, other than just, I like big boobies, I like skinny waists? Do they know? Let's go.
Know on a deeper level what it means. Now, if I compare a couple of screenshots of characters and tell you what is nicer to look at, whether it's physically attractive or just simply aesthetically pleasing on different levels, you can identify almost immediately what is pleasing to your eye and what isn't. And this isn't to say that every...
You don't know that. Then why? Oh my God. Hey, hold on. First of all, one is more photorealistic than the other. Now, if you want to say something is a little bit uncanny valley, I will give you that. But this right here is saying that real women look like that. No, they don't. That's not what they look like. Real women look like this. I understand that you've only interacted with women on the hub and, probably some Reddit subreddits, the specialty kinds that, that are not safe for work. But real women look like this. Is nothing wrong with the way she looks. Dog, I think you need to get off the hub for your own sanity and stop thinking that real women look like this. There are some, I will say that, but not most. But let's go.
Every game character should be attractive in a traditional sense, but it must convey something that's interesting to look at. It must evoke a level of emotion, whether it's horror, beauty, inspiration, or curiosity. For example, the Broodmother in Dragon Age Origins is a hideous creature, but evokes a feeling of morbid curiosity in a Lovecraftian sense, and it's just interesting to look at. The darkness of the scene and the red, pink, fleshy colours make it unclear where the monster design even begins. And if we look at the Darkspawn between Dragon Age Veilguard and Dragon Age Origins, in Origins they're horrifying creations. Their existence is a curse for essentially entering heaven.
So when we look at something like this is a different art style from Origins to the new one they got, Veilguard or Vanguard, whatever that is. It is a noticeably different art style. So if you want to critique the art style, yeah, go ahead. But actually critiquing and say like, oh, this is just ugly because this is this reason, and this is just beautiful because of this reason, you just sound stupid, dog. It just sounds like you have a personal bone to pick, that it's just arbitrary. But let's continue.
Without God's permission, and they were cast down. And in their design, you can see this. But now look at them now. I've got a vague understanding that this is because of a lore reason, but I just don't really care enough to look into why this is. I believe if your lore develops in a way...
Wow, that's a difference. I'm sorry, there's a difference. This actually reflects a cursed creature. And you'll see like where you have the contrast of the veins and the, oh yeah, that's a cursed creature. I will give you that. That is a cursed creature. This just looks like standard orc. This is like standard orc. It doesn't look like it has any imagination. But this is a cursed creature. Where is that? That is a cursed creature.
I have to look into why this is. I believe if your lore develops in a way...
Yeah, that's a cursed creature. Alright, let's go.
To make the monster design of the enemies look so out of place that they would fit in a Pixar film instead of the dark fantasy of Dragon Age, then your artistic direction, your standards of character design, they're way off. You need to go back to making...
This doesn't even look... It looks like... It looks worse. It looks worse than, like, old horror movies. I don't get it. Yeah, it's just like you have a personal vendetta for no reason other than games woke. Games woke now. Games woke now. Let's continue.
advertisement banners for sports events. But maybe Dragon Age isn't dark fantasy, and Star Wars isn't about Jedis, and Spider-Man isn't about Peter Parker fighting the bad guy and saving the gorgeous girl. And every game
What are you talking about? Oh, like the fantasies that these cats need to actually have in their video games to make sure that their life aren't crushingly miserable. Like for real. Go outside. Talk to people. Interact with interact with somebody that you think may be ugly, and you'll see that, I don't know, maybe you like being around them. I literally recently heard that some of the reason why some of these guys always want beautiful women around them because they just think that, I don't know, that maybe they can actually like the women that they consider ugly, and that'll be such a betrayal to what they think they deserve. And I'm starting to believe that. I'm really starting to believe that some of these cats are just like, oh, I get a normal woman. I get a woman that looks normal. How that I deserve better. Like that's how some of these cats are actually acting, and I'm starting to I'm thinking there's some merit to that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but let's go.
Awards isn't about celebrating great games and the gamers that play them. These franchises, and the hobby as a whole, is hijacked by ugly people who cannot create anything.
Really, really. I mean, like, is this just bait? Is this just bait? I don't know if this is bait. I don't know. Is this bait? Is this bait? Okay, all right. Let's go.
Beautiful. You might think this is out of spite or out of ideology. Now this does play a factor, but the main reason is on a deeper spiritual level. These people are simply incapable of understanding what beauty is. And in these days there's a twisted inversion of what beauty is.
No, it's spectacle. You're paying attention to spectacle. And as much as you're talking about, oh, they have a twisted sense of beauty. Oh, they have a they don't know what they're talking about because their sense of beauty, like your sense of your bubble is crazy. Oh my God. If you think that this is the standard that we all go by, this is the standard that you should be judged by, then you're insane. I don't get it. You're insane. All right, let's go.
It's taken hold of creative industries, and video games are a microcosm of this. Many people now believe that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is
That phrase is centuries old. What are you talking about? This gotta be a troll. This gotta be a troll. This is a troll. This is a troll. Nobody could be this stupid. This is a troll. Oh, okay. All right, let's go.
is wrong. This gives beauty a relativistic meaning, which devalues beauty to mean nothing. It's the same argument that if everyone is special, then no one is special.
No, it's not. Society tells you what beautiful is. Oh my God, how old is this cat? 12? Need to be pretty. Woman needs to be pretty. Big boobies. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, let's go.
Hull said that true beauty is not the product of chance, but the inevitable result of law. It is the harmony manifest in the visible world. So when developers make a game for the sake of creating something fun, engaging, and interesting, beauty will manifest itself by these actions alone. So when large producers involve themselves to find ways to monetize every aspect, and then with venture capital's ideological ESG funding giving direction.
Wait, didn't he just have an issue with socialism, but the whole raw mechanism of capitalism? Dude, like just say, you want to make games where women have like that much fabric on that their boobs are just hanging out, and you know you can play it with one hand while you hold the controller with the other. That's it. That's it. And when I mean the controller, your own joystick. That's all it is. You want to be able to play a game while you holding your controller in your one hand and your joystick in the other, because reasons. Because not even because reasons, because nobody wants to talk to you. as you said, you are a ugly person by what you put out. Hold on. Hold on. But let's continue.
To how the game's vision should follow, then you're just left with something grotesque and disfigured, something only ugly people can be proud of creating, and they're too blind to know what true beauty actually is. With these external factors now impacting game development, it's easy to understand why the most popular games in the last couple of years are remakes. All the good games have already been made, and the creatively bankrupt, ugly, and frankly demonic industry is simply incapable of creating anything new that people would.
That's not how that works. How? Oh my God. If you think you can do better, go do it. If you think you can make better games, go make better games. Oh, you heard that before, because when you said that about the people who wanted to make different games with ugly people in them, they did it, and their games are selling. It's just dumb. Come on, let's go.
Would find inspiring and beautiful. It is only capable of taking established properties and reshaping them into mass-produced products for slaves who simply don't know any better, and they'll just eat up the next serving of slop served to them.
See, here's what I suspect. I suspect that he just wants... This is a representation of who he wants to be making video games now. This is what I suspect. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, for real, man. Like, video games are the biggest they ever been. They've been more inclusive than they ever been, and they've been the biggest that they ever been. It's people like this idiot that's just, oh, video games are too woke. Oh, video games are ugly now. Explain to me where they're ugly. The one example that you gave of generic orc from video games that I would have played back when I played Overlord, and that's a deep cut game called Overlord, versus the Eldritch horror with great contrasting, color and light scheme. They was just like, yeah, no, for real. All this is games woke, ugly people make games. It's just stupid. That's why I ask, do some of these people play games? Or they just watch clips on the internet and listen to what people tell them it should be, excuse me.
Now, there is a lot of backlash to these types of games. However, you should still expect to see more of this in the future, as those funding these monstrosities can afford the loss. Some say that when these games flop, then the capitalist mindset should shift direction to make games that people want to play to make the money back. And there is some truth to this, but the insidious reason these games are being made year upon year, games that win awards that no one cares about, is that the ugliness that has taken over will not stop, and the video game industry will continue to descend further down this.
It's almost as if the games that you're complaining are too woke are actually making money and people are buying them and this winning awards. Go ahead, make your game that's non-woke. I want to see that happen. Go ahead and make another Hatred, dog. Go ahead and make another Hatred. See how well that sells.
Path. The descent has become irreversible. Now, while there may appear to be moments of stabilisation or even progress in the other direction of popular games being released that actually enjoy and seem out with the degradation of the industry as a whole, these are just often illusions, masking the deeper spiritual decay. Now, there are still some good games being made, I cannot deny this, but like ancient architecture, oil paintings, movies, music, all the best art has already been made, and gaming is just a microcosm for this decline.
We're at the end of history. I can't do more of this whining. This dude is just whining for no reason other than my feelings are hurt. Back in 2004, they had great. No. The games that were played then versus the quality of life improvements that we have now are miles apart. Stop it. Get a grip. It's just sad because, dude, I've been playing games since 1989, and dude, we have made some jumps and strides. All these dude bros, he got the woman in the game and she look ugly. Oh, okay. How does that hurt your feelings? Because she was ugly, and that's the only way that I could see a woman. Okay, that seems like a you problem. Seems like a skill issue. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching this video clip. Cut the segment here. I want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters and my Twitch subscribers. Join the Guardians, become a member, or become a subscriber on YouTube, Patreon, and help support the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and the next one should be popping up on your screen. Subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out and want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks.